everyone, my name's Kate Brown and I'm KeyPay's Marketing Manager and co-host of our podcast, The Payoff. In the midst of the COVID-19 crisis, KeyPay have been speaking to lots of different businesses on how they're coping through COVID-19, and we hear lots of stories about how people are pivoting their business model in reaction to these government restrictions. Now, in this video, we speak to Adam Cheers, who is a Sydney restaurant owner, and he has done just that. He's completely transformed the way his two venues work. They're completely online now, and he is on a mission to help as many other venues as possible to achieve the same. This video goes into detail about how Adam set up his own online delivery platform, the benefits of this, and the different models he tried for delivery.
You just mentioned that you've set up your own online ordering system now. Can you just tell us a little bit about what the beginning of that journey looked like? And I guess, any advice you might have for anybody who's kind of looking to do the same?
Yeah, sure. So I guess after I realized that the financials were under threat, I guess, if you like, because I had such increasing costs with these commissions, I wanted to find a solution in how I could offer my customers an online ordering platform. So they could order with me direct. And ultimately what they were going to do for the business is to minimize the reliance on these external platforms and hopefully reduce the commissions so that I could, have a bit more profit in the business to pay the bills. So I did some digging around the market just to see what options were out there and that were available. And I found a business or a technology company that's been around for many years. And they've provided an online ordering platform for many venues all around the country. And so I worked with them and we set up our platform for both of my businesses. In about 24 hours, we were up and running and ready to go. So it was super quick. And the process is really simple. If you were to go to my website, for example, peanutbutterjelly.com.au, there'll be an order now button on the homepage. It's very clear. Customers will click that. It'll open up our online menu and it's seamless. It's built into the website. It looks like it's our business. It has photos of our food and our menu. And it's almost essentially just like an Uber Eats or a Deliveroo platform. You scroll through the menu, select which menu items you would like. And then once you add the items to the shopping cart, simply make the payment on the website, which then goes directly into the venue's bank account. And then the order comes through to the venue and we process the food and allow the customer to come and collect it from the venue, or we offer a delivery service where we deliver it directly to the customer. And ultimately, to be able to facilitate that process, there's certainly not any high commissions involved in doing that. So that certainly helped our business during that time.
Great. And the ease of setup with that, I guess, getting your own branding on there, your own images, like how quickly were you able to get set up with that platform? And what was the sort of ease maybe for somebody who's not as tech savvy as say yourself?
Yeah, and it's a good question. A lot of people that I'm speaking with are a little bit concerned about how much effort it may take to set this up, and it's scary and it's daunting and I don't want to think about it. But the reality is that these guys are in business. And this is what they do. They specialize in that. And so it was a matter of just copy and pasting my menu from the website, emailing it to them with a list of postcodes that I want to deliver to in the area, and then giving them my bank account details for the payments to hit the bank account. And then within 24 hours, we were set up and I was taking online orders. So really quick and really simple. And not only that, but now the long-term benefit, now that I've got this infrastructure set up, is we're looking at expanding our product range, which is more than just people being able to offer or to order food and drinks from our restaurant. We're now actually developing product lines such as our sauces that our customers love, have been demanding for so long. We're also introducing a merchandise line. And so we're actually able now to expand on our product range, which is now available to our customers any time of the day, 24/7. And we can not only just look after customers in a small radius around our store, we've now opened up our customer base and our market to potentially not only anyone around the country, but potentially anyone around the world as well. So the opportunities are really endless. And I've been working with a few clients and helping them do this. And they're starting to look at the opportunity in the same way, where they can almost have two different businesses at the one location. You know, they've got a retail business, which is a restaurant that has a sales revenue stream of food and beverage from that venue. And then they have an online store, which has a totally different structure. And they have products that are suitable for their online store. Some may be the same as the retail business, but then there's other products which might be very different that they could send out anywhere in the country. And so it's just really giving a lot of venue owners a lot more scope and a lot more potential to help grow their business, to not only survive, but also to thrive during this period.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Adam, you mentioned to us previously that you have managed to, through all of this, completely automate the whole process, and you actually don't need to be in the venue at all. So
yes,
I suppose for those that are resistant and thinking about that initial effort they need to put in, what other benefits would you say that this could bring to other venues?
Yeah, I think the reason why I've been able to spend a lot of time in, helping hundreds of venues around the country is because I now have the flexibility in my time frame, in my schedule, to be able to pass on the knowledge that I've learned from the last, 6 weeks. I'm not saying I'm an expert and I know it all, but I've been through it. I'm in the same position as a lot of other venue owners throughout Australia, and I'm happy to share my story to help guide them on that path to reach the point that I'm at, so that they can adapt to what we're all dealing with right now. So I don't, as you mentioned, I don't work in both of the venues. When we first started, I was there every day. And by introducing the online ordering platform, it's literally automated the business. It's almost like having an online store where you don't really need to be involved anymore. The customer will place the order on the website. I'll get a text message to say that the order's come through. But by the time I've checked my phone, 9 times out of 10, the kitchen staff have already started making the food. And I'm not even aware of that. And so within 10, 15 minutes, the customer will arrive at the venue and the kitchen staff will hand over the food, and I'm totally removed from that transaction. So then that frees up my schedule to be doing things that are more important to the business, which are things like, marketing, training, developing new menu ideas for when we come out the other side of COVID, or even just to develop new menu ideas while we're in this COVID, lockdown period. It allows me to spend time on the business that previously I would not have the time to do, because we were so heavily involved and hands-on in the business, working there in the venue all day and every day. Absolutely, this now gives me a lot more flexibility, and that's something which I haven't had for many, many years, and I'm really excited to have that opportunity.
That's awesome, and it really speaks to us coming from a technology background. Something that we are very aware of, and that we we work with a lot of small business owners, and I guess it's extremely common for business owners to be in the weeds of everyday process, making food, whatever it is. And when you really stand back and think how much of that could you automate, push out to other people, and that actually does free you up to be strategic, to actually make a big impact in the business. So yeah, that really speaks to us coming from a technology background, because I guess that's our message to our customers also. Yeah. So you mentioned that you're sort of, I guess, stepping away from the business physically, but you're overseeing everything from a technology point of view and from an, I guess, management point of view. Do you think that's a change that you're going to carry on into the future of work after everything returns to normal, if that's going to happen?
Look, it's hard to say, but I think this is almost it's happening across the entire world in every different industry. We've got businesses that have all been forced, for their employees have been forced to work from home, and that's going to completely change the way they do business. And so this could potentially be the catalyst for a complete mindset shift for not only me, but potentially a lot of other restaurant owners or business owners anywhere in the world, because I think sometimes we're a little bit skeptical of doing things differently, or a little bit, unwilling to try new things. And I think being in this scenario, we've now been forced to do things differently because we have no other alternative. And once we realize now that, hey, it's not so scary after all, and we can actually make this work. And so, when things return to somewhat normality, perhaps we won't be as scared to just keep some new ideas flowing, and maybe some current practices that we're doing within the business. And for myself personally, I would probably continue doing what I'm doing right now, which is to be more strategic and work on having the freedom and the flexibility of spending my time being more creative in trying to drive the brand forward, as opposed to being so hands-on in the venue, dealing with customers every minute of the day. And so if anything, that's one positive thing that may come out of this scenario, which is to open my mind up to new possibilities of running my business.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny that a lot of people, I guess myself and Kate have talked to while doing the podcast, have mentioned that, when they start out in business, they're so much more brave and willing to take risks because there's so much less to lose. And I guess like this time is almost kind of reflective or similar to that when you're starting out in business, because the world is risky right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could lose everything anyway. So why not throw everything into diversifying, trying new things, bringing back that bravery?
Yeah. I completely agree, because I almost feel like we almost already have lost everything. And so that gives you, you can look at this two ways. You could either feel defeated because you feel like you've lost everything. Business is down 90%, had to let staff go. Costs are rising because I'm using external delivery partners. You could look at all those facts and go, well, I'm just going to give up. Or you could say, I've actually lost a lot. I've got nothing else to lose. I'm going to give it everything I've got, and I'm going to give it my best shot, because there's not much else that could happen at this point.
Yeah,
so I prefer to be in that latter category.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing to see what ideas and outcomes have come out of all of this. I suppose that's the positive side.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like you're kind of set up and ready to go with your platform. So how did you go about sort of removing the middleman between restaurant and delivery driver and customer, and what challenges did you actually face with the delivery process?
So delivery is a really interesting part of this entire process. And so I've been in business for 5 years now, in the restaurant business, and not once have I ever had to do my own home delivery for the business. And so when this all happened 5-6 weeks ago, and I noticed that my costs were increasing because I'm using external delivery companies, I realized that I had to find a solution. And it was scary. And from a lot of business owners that I speak to at the moment, they feel exactly the same way. It's daunting. They don't know where to start. There's so many concerns that go through my mind as to how to start that process. And so I had the online order platform set up, and I thought, I'm just going to try everything that I possibly can. So I started by doing the deliveries myself, just on a few days a week, just to get a feel for it. And I think a lot of restaurant owners think, if I transfer and start opening up my own online ordering platform, immediately those 200 Uber orders that I get every week are going to immediately come through my platform, and I have to do 200 deliveries this week. Reality is that's not the case. It'll be a slow progression if you're doing the right things to try and move those customers across onto your own platform. So what you'll find is that you'll only get a few delivery requests in the first week or so, depending on what level of marketing you're doing, but that's manageable. And so I did that in the early stages just to get a feel for it. And then I worked out that, I've got 2 venues and I couldn't be in 2 places at once. So I needed to find a solution to that.
So yeah, it gave me the opportunity to re-engage staff members that were unfortunately, let go when we had to deal with coronavirus. And so I spoke with on our online ordering platform. We offer our customers the ability to get delivery to their home, and we charge a fee depending on their location. So if they're up to 2.5 to 3 kilometers around our store, it'll be a $5 delivery fee. If it's between 3 and 6, we'll charge a $10 delivery fee. And if it's between 6 and 9, it's a $15 delivery fee. And so we've been seeing a lot of customers outside of our normal delivery radius take up orders with us, because previously they weren't able to access our delivery through Uber Eats or Deliveroo because they don't physically deliver that far. So from a business point of view, it's allowed us to now expand our reach into customers outside of our normal radius. So that's helped a lot. And so what I've done with my ex-employees, I've offered them the opportunity to come back to the business. And the agreement that I set up with them was to just to try something and see how it works. And I said, well, we're getting these delivery fees from our customers, which they're used to paying on these external platforms anyway. So it's nothing new and it's the same as what they're currently doing. But rather than me taking those delivery fees, what if I pass it on to you and you get paid the delivery fees that we receive from the customers? And also I'll give you a free meal and some drinks, you know, at the end of the night on the house, just to say thank you for your time. And we experimented and we tried to see how that goes. And so on the first night, it didn't work as well as what we'd hoped. It was a bit of a slow night. You know, the person made $30 over a couple of hours, and you know, we're a bit unsure if it was going to work out. But then on night number 2, they made $80 in about 3 hours. And then on the night number 3, they made almost $100 over a shorter period of time. And so by the end of the weekend, they had a few $100s in their pocket. And they had some free meals and a couple of drinks along the way, and that worked out to be a really good you know, situation. We were able to then offer our customers delivery. We weren't out of pocket, and then I was able to give some income to a staff member that was stood down. So it was a great outcome for everybody. However, I understand that a lot of business owners may not have any resource. I speak to a lot of husband and wife operators where they don't have any staff, they don't have anyone that can do the deliveries, or they don't have staff that have a vehicle. And so it can be a bit of a challenge. And so I needed to find a flexible delivery model that allowed me the opportunity to be able to pay for deliveries as I needed them, and not have to pay somebody by the hour, but also an arrangement that worked for the business and also worked for them as well. And so there's 2 options, and I've created a number of different options that are suitable for different businesses, and not the same solution works for every business. But one of the options is that I've been approached recently by a rideshare company, and we've now got access to all of their drivers. And so for a small fee per delivery, in some cases it might be $8 or $9. Now, if we charge the customer $5 for that delivery, but then it cost us, say, $8, now I'm out of pocket $3 on that transaction, but that's a lot less than paying 38% commission to any of the external delivery providers. So a few little tactics like that I've deployed into the business that has saved us a lot of money and allowed us the opportunity to be able to offer delivery to our customers. So that's been a game changer for me and for all the clients that I'm currently working with.
It's fascinating. Actually, your first model kind of takes back to what Niamh said on that sort of startup mentality where everyone's just kind of jumping in to help out and you're just trying all these new things. It's quite exciting in a way. And I suppose it's really positive that everyone is also coming together as a community, and restaurants are coming together to help each other rather than compete against each other.
Absolutely. It's exciting. I'm working with some venues that are directly down the road from me that offer the same cuisine, the same food. We're direct competitors, but I'm offering all of my advice to them as if I'm sharing all of my secrets that I've learned over this time to help them, because helping them survive during this time for me is more important than keeping the secrets to myself and not actually passing on that knowledge. So for me, it's more about just giving back to the community and wanting to see the industry and the market recover and we all survive and get through this. And so that's really important to me.
You kind of mentioned like that you're so you're going it alone now, but you're also still using the other I guess delivery services. Do you kind of eventually envision yourself transitioning over to completely managing your own ordering process, or do you think you'll always work with the other providers?
It's a really good question, and my answer to that probably at this current time changes on a daily basis. But I think ultimately it would be everybody's wish and desire to be able to just completely focus on their own online ordering platform and to completely eliminate these external delivery platforms. However, I think the reality is that there's always going to be a place in the market for them, and I will probably more than likely continue to use them, but I will do everything in my power to try and incentivize my customers to continue to order with me direct. And so, like I said earlier, more around understanding the need for those platforms in my business and what value they're actually delivering. They're delivering a marketing value for my business, which is enabling me to attract customers who may not have ordered from me before. They get to try the food, and if they have a great experience with that food, they may come down to the venue, and then that's where I win. So I may not win on each of those transactions, but long term, ultimately we should benefit or gain from that relationship with those external companies. However, it's important that I see the natural progression of more orders coming through my own business directly. Otherwise, the financial viability of that relationship with those external platforms is just not viable for my business. And so, for me personally, I would be focusing my attention on driving as many people to my online platform, but still having visibility on those platforms just to attract new people that I may not be reaching myself.
Yeah, I feel like as a consumer, this has been a really great education for me, because I didn't realize the impact that the delivery ride shares or whatever were having on sort of, my favorite restaurants around the inner west or whatever. And, I want those restaurants and cafes to be there when things do return to somewhat, something resembling normality, and this has made me want to, go through the extra effort of finding out how to order with them directly. So yeah, it's a really good thing for consumers to be aware of as well.
Yeah, I think the conversation for us has been going on for many years now. And so I find it really interesting that now it's been brought to the surface. A lot of consumers are now becoming more aware. And I think over time, we'll see more and more consumers start to look for the direct restaurants ordering online or over the phone or whatever it may be, just because they're more aware of the costs involved with these external platforms. And like you said, they want to support their local businesses. And so therefore they want to make sure that they can survive and therefore not ordering on those external platforms as much as what they would in the past. So.